Hey, welcome back to the channel. My name is Eric, and today we're going to talk about what actually is good customer service, because it gets kind of mired and messed up, and people get it wrong because they think that it's just the interaction that goes on out front, and it's not. Customer service is from A to Z, and that means it's not just the first dialogue that you have with that customer. It's how the repairs went, how the delivery went, how the overall experience was to that customer. And if you're focused on just having a good customer service person out front that is good with customers, that's not the whole deal, because you can have a stellar person here, but you could be putting out shoddy work and it's going to ruin the whole experience for your customer, and they won't be back. They don't care how great the person was out front. If their mower isn't running the way it should be running, they don't get a good fuzzy feeling inside, right? So how can we break it down so that everything is firing on all cylinders? That's the mechanical term, right? It's having everybody work together as a team. Now, with our shop here, there's just Claude 9 now, okay? So I'm kind of the front man and he's kind of the back man. But we both have to work together to give our customer the best experience overall. Because, I have Claude come up a lot of times and talk with a customer. Or if we have questions afterwards or something like that, that Claude and I kind of tag team and work together. We're on the same page. And we know what we want to go after and how to do it. And it's not trying to manipulate a customer. This customer service and how to take advantage of a customer are two different things. Manipulating a customer and thinking that you got something over on them is not good customer service. Because good chances are you didn't get anything over on them, right? So how can we get this to all work together? The first thing is the front man. The front man, what am I calling a front man? A front person. The first person that comes in contact with that customer. And that's usually me. Because what I feel is my job is getting work into the shop. And that means I'm advertising. That means I'm answering the phones. That means I'm talking to customers and seeing if we can get some referrals. I'm out there pounding the pavement trying to get work. And that's the first taste that the customer gets of our shop. Okay? And it's only one part. I can get them to the shop, but if we don't give them an overall good experience through the whole thing, it's just as much after the sale as it is before the sale. I guess is what I'm trying to get across to you. The thing that you need to focus on, I think the most, is putting out good quality work and taking an interest in your customers. You need to, don't fake it till you make it, because it's not going to work. If you're not deep core inside, if your beliefs are not that you want to help the customer have the best experience, it's not going to work. It's like you and I talk, and if I'm genuine with you, I'm open and honest with you, I'm an open book. Ask any questions and I'll give you an honest answer, at least as best that I can, right? I know that I want my customer to come back. That is my goal before I even get that customer, is to get them to come back after they've been through the whole experience. And if they don't come back, that's telling me we failed. And it may not be our work or our disposition and stuff like that, but somewhere along the line something fell apart. And you need to figure that out quick. You know, I said in yesterday's video, if you got great customer service up front, but the stuff that's going out the back door, the repair shop, is less than par. Because you always want to strive to do the best you can by your customer, okay? So if you've got less than par work, I don't care how great a person you are and how much people like you, they are not going to bring their stuff to you if they're not getting a good quality job done and out. And probably half to 3/4 of my customers can do the work if they wanted to do the work, like the service work in this, not the welding and all that, but just the simple changing the oil and everything. They can do that themselves. All right? But they're putting trust and faith in us that we're going to do that for them at a fair price. And that fair price is going to vary from individual to individual. You know, you're not going to make everybody happy all the time. That's in business and in life. And the quicker you learn that, the smarter you're going to be and the better you're going to be. So instead of trying to concentrate on making everybody happy, try to make most people happy. Because you're going to get those customers, no matter what you do or say, it's not going to be enough. And once you get enough customers coming in where you have a base, a customer base, that's the time to weed out those ones that you can't please. In the beginning, when you're first starting out, you're going to take on everybody and anybody, right? But you're going to learn quickly the ones that you want to retain and the ones that you don't. And the ones that are giving you a lot of headaches, that's the ones to get rid of. But before you get rid of them, find out, are they really causing you a lot of headaches? Or is it something that the way you're coming about it and doing it with that person? See, the same thing, the same paintbrush, the same stroke can't be done for everybody. That's the second thing you need to learn, is that there's a certain way to approach a certain person. And Amos, you said it here quite a while back, that if you're talking to an engineer, you're talking to him on that level. But if you're talking to a salesman, you're down on this level. And that's the way you have to be when it comes to customer service. If you're talking to somebody that knows quite a bit about engines and lawnmowers and stuff like that, but they're really busy and they don't have time to do it, you're going to be talking to them at this level. The person that doesn't know squat other than how to get on it, turn the key and start it and go, you're going to be down here in this level. And you have to figure out which level to come at, right? You don't want to talk down to the people that are up here any more than you want to talk up here to the people that are down here. And that's going to be, you're going to learn that by dealing with that customer. And if you have a sense that the customer is unhappy, don't be afraid to say, is there something that I said or did that's causing you a little mistrust? But you better be ready, and honestly asking that question, you better be ready for whatever answer comes out their mouth and not take exception, because you asked them to tell you. And it may be that you're an asshole and they don't like you and they probably won't be back. I don't know. But if I get that sense from a customer that we're just not clicking, I'll stop right there and say, is there something that I'm saying or doing that's causing you to be mistrusting, or something is adding up for you? And you never want to be on the defensive when it comes to explaining your bills to customers. If your customer has got a question about the bill, don't take exception and don't feel slighted that they're asking you about that bill. We have customers that want you to go out and show them what you did. And I'm all for it. Claude used to take exception to it a number of years back, like it was a slight on his work. I'm like, no, it's not. People are genuinely asking, what did you do? Show them what you did. You need to work together as a team so that the customer gets a good experience all the way through. If you're a one-man band, it's a bit harder because you're wearing all these hats, right? You're trying to be the front man, the back man, the in-between person. And a lot of times, if you're by yourself, you're feeling rushed, right? And that's the other thing that you need to do starting today if you are feeling rushed. Slow down. Set your own pace. Get the work done. Make sure it's quality work that's going out the door in the shortest amount of time possible, but not in a state of where you're going to start missing things. Because if you start missing things, that's going to lead to a poor experience in customer service. The more you do it, the better you become. But the biggest thing is reading people and getting a feel for where they're at. Mechanically, financially, what have you. If you can do that, and you got a good team that you're working together with, you're gonna be busy all the time. If any part of the system, the people break down and aren't doing what needs to be done for that rounded experience, the whole team will pay. And depending on how many employees you have or how many people you work with, sitting down in the morning over a cup of coffee and discussing anything that would help the group become better or something that somebody sees they can improve on is a positive. But the ultimate goal you want to do is you want that customer to trust you. And the only way to have them trust you is to be honest with them. Okay? You also want that customer to help you. We talked yesterday about win-win. If it's not a win-win, pull back and regroup and look at other ways, or just drop it in the water and walk away. Even if you think you're going to win out of the deal and the other person isn't, stop. Don't even do it. Because if it's not a win-win for both, and both parties feel like they came out good out of the deal, then it's not going to work. You can screw people part of the time, but not all the time. And if you're taking advantage of somebody because they don't know or this or that, and you think you got one over on them, it won't take long for them to figure out that you didn't, and then they're going to start telling everybody, watch out for Eric, he puts the screws to you. How good is your reputation now? You got one over on that person, but now it's backfired, and they've got it posted online of how you screwed them. They've gotten hold of the Better Business Bureau. You see what I'm saying? That's why I say if it's not a win-win for every party involved, it needs to stop until it can be brought to that level of a win-win. And that win-win might be the customer tells you, I'll take $300 for my lawnmower. And you're looking at it and it's worth $3,000. You're going to say, well, it's all I'm just giving him what he wants. I understand that. But if you know what it's worth, give him more. Show him that you're there and you invested in him. If that machine is worth $3,000, the minimum I would offer them, even if they had $300 on it, is $1,500. And you're going to say, you're stupid, Eric. Why would you do that? Because that $1,500 that I gave them, I've still got quite a bit of room for profit, right? And that person is going to tell everybody in their neighbor how they had tried to get me to buy it for $300, and I turned around and told them, you're wrong. It's worth more than that. I'll give you $15 if that's okay. You will have people flock into your doors wanting to know if you're willing to buy their mower. You see what I'm saying? So if you make it a win-win for everybody and everybody feels good at the end of the day, that's where you want to be. Business is not about taking advantage of other people. Any business people that I know of that thought that, in the short run, they did fine until they got caught up with. And I do believe in karma. What comes around goes around. So for me, I try to treat my customers like they're my best friends. And I wouldn't screw a best friend, nor would I screw a customer. On that note, you guys have a great day. In the comments, what are other ways that you could think of that would make for a better, well-rounded experience? And where are you having difficulties that maybe I can kind of help you with? I'm a people person to start with. I value relationships with other people. I value relationships with other people more than I do money. Money is just a means to get crap. But a relationship, if nourished, will last a lifetime. All that crap that you're gathering, like the squirrel in the nuts, comes and goes. And if I were to look back on my life, it hasn't been a steady plane. It's been like really good, and then it comes down, and then it's really good, but I try to level it out so that in the middle. You guys have a great day.